Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today is a very auspicious day. It's known as Rukmini Dwadashi, appearance day of Rukmani Devi, the principal queen of Lord Krishna in Dwarka. Rukmani Devi, she had never seen Krishna, but she had heard about him. And by hearing about him, she wanted to marry him. By hearing about Krishna. So she wanted to be with Krishna because she got this attraction for Krishna, this attachment for Krishna by hearing about Krishna. So we also, we need to develop that attraction, that attachment. It's there in each and everyone's heart. It just needs to be revived by hearing about Krishna from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, from the devotees. So we're going to continue reading with Bhagavatam. Yesterday we heard that Ganga Devi, when she said that she can't come to, she doesn't want to come to the earth because all sinful people will leave behind the sins in her and she'll be overburdened by that. And that her force is gonna, with her force, the earth won't be able to bear it and she will go straight to Rasata. So what is the solution for that? Then what does Bhagirath say in reply to those?
Hare Krishna, Bhagirath said that if wherever devotees or Vaishnavas, they go, wherever they go, they purify the place and it becomes the holy place because they know that the Lord resides in their hearts and they are always thinking of the Lord.
Yeah, so that's how he said that, all the sins that are collected in you, they'll be washed away then, because the pure devotees will also come and bathe in you. Yeah, thank you. And what about the force that she's going to come with?
And of course, she'll come with Lord Shiva.
Yeah,
Will, yeah,
he said
will
Lord Shiva can hold you on his head.
hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, then Bhagirath prays to Lord Shiva and he requests him. Lord Shiva accepts it, accepting the water which has washed the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu on his head. Okay, reading on. Bhagirathasya Rajarishir
भागीरथस्य राजर्षिः
Ninye Bhuvana Pavanim
Ninni Bhuvan
नीवनपावनीं
Pavanim
Yatra Svapitranam Deha
यत्र
Yatra
स्वपितॄणां
Swapitranam
देहाः
Deha
Bhasmi Bhutasma Sherate.
Vasmi
भस्मीभूताः श्मशेरते.
Bhutasmashirate.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The great and saintly King Bhagirath brought the Ganges, which can deliver all the fallen souls, to that place on earth where the bodies of his forefathers lay burnt to ashes. So then now he's asking Ganga Devi to come where his ancestors' ashes are there. Rathena Vayu Vegena
रथेन वायुवेगेन
Prayantam Anudhavati
प्रयान्तम् अनुधावति.
Deshan Punanti Nirdagdhan
देशान्
Deshan
पुनन्ति
Punanti
निर्बन्धान्
Dattvan
Ashinchat Sagaratmachan.
Asinchat
सिञ्चत्
Sagaratmajan.
सगरात्मजान्.
Bhagirath mounted a swift chariot and drove before Mother Ganges, who followed him, purifying many countries, until they reached the ashes of Bhagirath's forefathers, the sons of Sagar, who were thus sprinkled with water from the Ganges. So he was riding the chariot, and Ganga Devi was following him behind the chariot. And that's how. Then he came to the place where the ashes were, and then Ganga Devi, she came to where the ashes were. Yajjala sparsha matrena
यज्जल स्पर्शमात्रेण
यज्जलस्पर्शमात्रेण
Brahma danda hata api.
ब्रह्मदण्डहता
ब्रह्मदण्डाहता अपि
Sagaratmaja divam jagmu.
सगर आत्मजादिवं
सकलमजादिकं
जगमु
जग्मु
Kevalam deha basmabe.
केवलं
केवलं
देहवद्भिः
देहभस्मभिः
Because the sons of Sagar Maharaj had offended a great personality, the heat of their bodies had increased, and they were burned to ashes. But simply by being sprinkled with water from the Ganges, all of them became eligible to go to the heavenly planets. What then is to be said of those who use the water of Mother Ganges to worship her? Mother Ganges is worshipped by the water of the Ganges. A devotee takes a little water from the Ganges and offers it back to the Ganges. When the devotee takes the water, Mother Ganges does not lose anything. And when the water is offered back, Mother Ganges does not increase. But in this way, the worshipper of the Ganges is benefited. So this is how we worship Mother Ganga, right? Go inside her, and then we take a palm full of water from her and offer it back to her. Yeah. When we are taking some water from her, it's not that her size is reducing. And when we are offering the water back to her, it's not that her size is increasing. She doesn't need it. But what happens is we get purified. So, similarly, a devotee of the Lord offers the Lord patram pushpam phalam toyam, a leaf, flower, water, fruit or water, in great devotion. But everything, including the leaf, flower, fruit and water, belongs to the Lord. And therefore, there is nothing to renounce or to accept. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, I accept fruit, water, flower, or leaf. And he says, offer me with devotion. So when one offers, where does this fruit flower come from? It is Krishna's originally. It's coming from Krishna. Already belongs to him. But by offering to him, we get purified. The worshipper gets purified. That's why I said here, there's nothing to renounce or to accept. It anyway belongs to Krishna. So one must simply take advantage of the bhakti process, because by following this process, one does not lose anything, but one gains the favor of the Supreme Person. By worshipping Krishna, we get benefited. Everything anyway belongs to Krishna. He doesn't need our fruit, flower. It's not ours to begin with. It's already his. But when we take this fruit flower and we offer it to Krishna with devotion, he accepts it. And we are reviving our love for him. We are taking steps towards him then. Is that okay?
Yes.
Bhasmi bhutanga sangena
भस्मीभूताङ्गसङ्गेन
भस्मीभूताङ्गसङ्गेन
svaryata sagaratmajaha
स्वर्यातः
सूर्यातः
सगरात्मजः
सकरात्मज
kim punah shraddhaya devim
किं
किं
पुनः
पुनः
श्रद्धया
श्रद्धया
देवी
देवीं
sevante ye dhritamrataha.
सेवन्ते ये धृतवृतः
सेवितव्रतः
Simply by having water from the Ganges come in contact with the ashes of their burnt bodies, the sons of Sagar Maharaj were elevated to the heavenly planets. Therefore, what is to be said of a devotee who worships Mother Ganges faithfully with a determined vow? One can only imagine the benefit that accrues to such a devotee. So their bodies were already burned, there was only ashes there. By sprinkling Ganga water on the ashes, they became eligible. They went to heavenly planets, to the heavens. So here Sukadev Goswami is saying they got so much benefit. What to speak of somebody who's actually worshipping Mother Ganga then? faithfully, regularly. So certainly great benefit there. Sridhar Kolavika, Sridhar Kolavika, he used to worship Mother Ganga. He was very poor. He used to make money by selling banana leaves and banana flowers. Already he had barely any money, but 50% of that money he would spend on worship of Mother Ganga. Nahi etat param ascharyam
न हि ऊतत्परमाश्चर्यम्
swardhunya yad ihoditam
स्वर्धुन्या यदिहोदितम्
ananta charanamboja
अनन्ताचरणाम्भोजा
prasutaya bhavachiddaha.
प्रसूताया भवच्छिदः.
Because Mother Ganges emanated from the lotus toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Anantadev, she is able to liberate one from material bondage. Therefore, whatever is described herewith about her is not at all wonderful. It has actually been seen that anyone who regularly worships Mother Ganges simply by bathing in her water keeps very good health and gradually becomes a devotee of the Lord. This is the effect of bathing in the water of the Ganges. Bathing in the Ganges is recommended in all Vedic Shastras, and one who takes to this path will certainly be completely freed from all sinful reactions. So Prabhupada is explaining here that Vedas are recommending to bathe in the Ganges, and one who regularly bathes in the Ganges, what happens is get very good health, physically fit, and also becomes a devotee of the Lord. So all the sins are washed away. The practical example of this is that the sons of Maharaj Sagar went to the heavenly planets when the water from the Ganges merely touched the ashes of their burnt bodies. So they personally did not even worship Mother Ganga, but because the ashes which were left behind of their burnt bodies were sprinkled with Ganga water, they could go to heavens. So that's why it's being said, then what about a person who worships Mother Ganga themselves? For sure, if regularly one worships Mother Ganga, one will become a devotee of the Lord. Is that okay? In common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So just the Sagar Maharaj, they went to heavenly planets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Just to clarify.
Saniveshya mano yasmin
Saniveshya mano yasmin
Shraddhaya munayo malaha
Shraddhaya munayo malaha
Traigunyam dustyajam hitva
Traigunam dustyam hitva
Sadhyo yatastad atmatam.
Sadhyayato tadatmata.
Great sages, completely freed from material lusty desires, devote their minds fully to the service of the Lord. Such persons are liberated from material bondage without difficulty, and they become transcendently situated, acquiring the spiritual quality of the Lord. This is the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Sukadev Goswami is saying the devotees, the devotees, they don't have any material desires. They're completely free of the material desires. And their minds, they are keeping Krishna in the center, fully to the service of the Lord, devote their minds fully to serve the Lord. And the pure devotees, they are liberated, acquiring the spiritual quality of the Lord. The Lord is transcendental, the pure devotee is also transcendental. So this is the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can see that by serving the Supreme Lord, we can also acquire the quality of the Lord. So this is, of course, of the pure devotee. The pure devotee, he is liberated. He has no material desire. His only desire is, how can I please the Lord? Shruto bhagirathaj jagye
Shruto Bhagirathaj Jagme
tasya nabho paro bhavat
Tasya Nabo Paro Bhavat
sindhu dvipas tatastasmad
Sindhu Dvipastatastasmad
ayutayustato bhavat
Ayutayustato Bhavat
rituparno nalasakho
Rituparno Nalasakho
yo swavidyam ayan nalad
Yosva Vidyam Ayanala
datvaksha hridayam chasme
Tatvaksharitayam Chasmi
sarva kamastu tatsutam.
Sarva Kamastu Tatsutam.
Bhagirath had a son named Shruta, whose son was Nabha. This son was different from the Nabha previously described. Nabha had a son named Sindhudvip. From Sindhudvip came Ayutayu, and from Ayutayu came Rituparna, who became a friend of Nalaraj. Rituparna taught Nalaraj the art of gambling, and Nalaraj gave Rituparna lessons in controlling and maintaining horses. The son of Rituparna was Sarvakama. Gambling is also an art. Kshatriyas are allowed to exhibit talent in this art of gambling. By the grace of Krishna, the Pandavas lost everything by gambling and were deprived of their kingdom, wife, family, and home because they were not expert in the gambling art. In other words, a devotee may not be expert in materialistic activities. It is therefore advised in the Shastra that materialistic activities are not at all suitable for the living entities, especially the devotees. A devotee should therefore be satisfied to eat whatever is sent as prasad by the Supreme Lord. A devotee remains pure because he does not take to sinful activities such as gambling, intoxication, meat eating, and illicit sex. So here, Sukadev Goswami is describing the descendants of Bhagirath. And there was some descendant who was expert in the art of gambling, controlling, maintaining horses. Prabhupada is pointing out that Kshatriyas, they were allowed to gamble. Uh, it was, then we can say, because now there are no real Kshatriyas. And for a devotee, it is prohibited: intoxication, gambling, meditating, and illicit sex. A devotee does not want to be expert in material activities, but a devotee wants to be expert in serving Krishna. He wants to use his time and energy to serve Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So that line that it says that by the grace of Krishna, the Pandavas lost everything by gambling. So by the grace of Krishna, why? Because actually being devotees, right? So they should not be gambling. They were not supposed to gamble. Is
Yeah.
it? That's the reason. It says by the grace of
By
Krishna.
the grace of Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. That they were not expert in gambling. They didn't know how to gamble only.
Yeah, but like the Pandavas lost
Yeah,
by
they
the
lost.
grace of Krishna. So that part I was like a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like how you said it now. That because they're devotees, so so it was Krishna's grace that they are not expert in gambling, otherwise they would be very attached to gambling, but rather they are attached to Krishna.
But then they gambled and then they lost.
They lost everything. So just as you said now, that they are devotees. So that's why they didn't know how to gamble. So one may say, how come it's a grace of Krishna that you lose, right?
Mm.
One may say, oh, how is it Krishna's mercy that you lose? But then it, it, a devotee would see that because otherwise one would just get more and more attached to gambling then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then one's focus would go away from Krishna. And then, because gambling is also like an addiction, no?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that's how I see it. What do you
Oh,
think?
yeah. Could be. No? That's why.
Like,
So they were not expert because, yeah. Otherwise, it would be like, yeah, they would be too habited, like they would get addicted to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Tata sudasas tatputro
ततः सुदासस्तत्पुत्रो
damyanti patirnripaha
दमयन्ति पतिर्निर्भः
ahur mitra saham yamve
आहुर्मित्रसहं यं वे
kalma asangrahim uttakvachet
कल्म आसाङ्गृहम् उत क्वचित्
vashista shapad raksho bhud
वसिष्ठशापात् रक्षोभूत्
anapatya svakarmana.
अनपत्य स्वकर्मणा.
Sarvakam had a son named Sudasa, whose son, known as Saudasa, was the husband of Damayanti. Saudas is sometimes known as Mitrasaha or Kalma Asapada. Kalma Sapada. Because of his own misdeed, Mitrasaha was sonless and was cursed by Vashishta to become a man-eater Rakshas. So, Sudasa's son had Sudasa's son is called Saudasa. Saudasa also has other names, Mitrasaha or Kalmasapad, Kalmasapada. And he has a wife called Damayanti. So Mitrasaha, it seems, did something wrong, because of which he is cursed by Vashishta. And Vashishta has cursed him to become what?
Rakshish
Rakshas.
man
Yeah.
eater. Mm.
Yeah. An eater. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow. Any more comments? Did you want to talk more about that? What we just heard, that by the grace of Lord Krishna, what we just said? Or is that fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
The way it was put, na, that we like it was like
yeah, by the grace of Krishna. But
grace of
that's
Krishna.
how and I understand it, that they are not expert. It's
Yeah,
Krishna's grace also, you know.
yeah. And you're not addicted, na. You're not.
Yeah, you're not addicted to it then. Okay. So, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna. Thank you.